I have my pills in here. Oh, hi! Welcome to night class, everyone. Now, folks, as we begin this episode, I want you to think back to the summer before your freshman year. It was a simpler time, wasn't it? Back when watermelon vodka didn't bring back painful memories. But if there's one thing freshmen coming to USC have to look forward to, it's living on their own for the first time.
So, this is my dorm tour. Claire and this is my roommate, Claire. Hi.
We think that Burncrant is like the best dorm ever, like out of all of your options as a freshman.
You also have these for clothes, or whatever you want to put in there. I brought these baskets, they don't come with it. And then I also bought a cart, which I would highly, highly recommend.
I think I hear my roommate, she's coming up right now.
Hi.
If you're in Gen Z, I'm guessing you probably spent a lot of time watching these videos before college, especially if you're looking to make friends like Tyler and his buddy. Which makes sense. I mean, one of the most liberating aspects of the college experience is that you'll be living by yourself, a totally independent adult, just like the roommate sleeping 5 feet away from you. You're like a married couple from the 1950s. And just like every marriage, you think you don't hate them now, but you will. You definitely will. Right, Chris?
Shut up!
Okay. At USC, students will experience living both on campus and off campus, each of which comes with their ups and their downs. And while these videos help kids see what student housing is like, they may not tell the full story. So today, we want to take an honest look at student housing. We'll begin with housing on campus. Now, for most students coming to USC in the fall, you're set up with housing way before you get here for orientation. In fact, applications open the month after students are accepted to USC. This is a way for the school to pressure you into making your decision early and dropping those $55 on your housing deposit. In fact, USC says that the earlier you apply, the greater the likelihood you will receive one of your building preferences. So USC is essentially saying to new freshmen, the earlier you commit here, the less likely it is you'll have to live with Ethan, who listens to Evanescence and picks at his own scabs. And because of this, students picking a place to live may not know what they're getting into. So here we'll quickly provide you a summary of what each residence hall is like. All right, go to any of these if you hate air conditioning. Go to here if you like your guitar more than human contact. Pardee Tower is okay, but it's not what you probably think it is. Lo-Fi Smoke and Chill Tower is probably much more accurate. And New North is...
Overloaded surge protector exploded, and that flooding from sprinklers caused extensive damage. Earlier this week, USC Housing confirmed the incident with Annenberg Media, adding no one was injured.
Okay, look, obviously that's not great. And USC did eventually fix the damage from the fire, but at least it proved that, if anything, New North is always pretty lit. Boom! I got him! I got him! Parkside, Darkside, baby! That's right! What do you know about A&H? Nothing! You hate us because midnight breakfast is right downstairs. That's right! Hash browns at 12:30, son! Thank you for letting me have that. So, clearly there are some disparities in the quality of housing between the old buildings and the new ones at USC, as should be expected. I mean, my room at Parkside came with a mini fridge, air conditioning, its own microwave, and no obligation to talk to anyone. It was great. The technology is convenient, and it helps me avoid human interaction. It's like the AirPod of residence halls. But not everyone gets to live in new buildings. Some people have to live in places like Mark's Tower, the airplane earbuds of student housing.
What is wrong with Marshall? I'm literally so confused.
Look, we're not saying that Mark's Hall has blood vomit on all of the toilets. We're saying you might find it on the walls too. Okay, but none of this should scare you away from living here at USC. That's Engelman's job. To be completely honest, many of these residence halls and dorms come with amazing amenities and resources that we, quite frankly, are lucky enough to have as a school because we pay $60,000 to go here. $60,000! Sorry, I don't know what that was. But look, USC does do a really good job of showcasing this.
Our residential colleges are based on programs originating in Europe and Ivy League universities. Residential colleges have one or more live-in faculty members who are professors at USC.
That's right, folks. You'll be able to soak in compelling lessons like whatever the hell they're teaching here. Is this what being a narrative studies major means? Pottermore quizzes? Because you're learning from a clear Hufflepuff. You see that, right? I mean, this is... Look, and you should appreciate student housing while you're still there because it's only guaranteed to freshmen and sophomores. The years before you've even taken your second trip to Cabo with the squad. So little you know. And only about 30% of students live in USC-owned or operated property, which is pretty low by comparison. At UCLA, 48% of students live in campus housing and 53% do at Loyola. Even at NYU, 42% of students live on campus, which is funny because NYU's campus is literally a network of dirty alleyways. And your landlord is just an Italian dude who won't stop quoting Robert De Niro. Hey, I'm walking here. Hey, what is this? Is this a hole in the wall? From hanging your posters? You know how long this is going to take to spackle? So after you've left student housing, it won't be easy to leave student housing because you'll have to go off campus. Now, look, I know, folks. Off campus, that place your mom kept warning you about. I hear that most ATMs out there don't even dispense cupcakes. Students living off campus have historically had some complaints about their living situation. Many of you younger Trojan tadpoles might not remember, but a few years ago, Element wasn't that place that might have a burger I am? Might not, I don't know. Has anyone been to a burger? Okay. In fact, for a little while, Element wasn't even a place at all. In 2017, construction for the Element apartment complex was so delayed that students who planned to move there had to wait 4 months. A group of students eventually filed a lawsuit against the apartment owners because even once they arrived, the construction still wasn't finished.
We're living, right next to a big hollow facade that is an active construction zone, so there's going to be a lot of noise.
Okay, granted, they still live next to a hollow facade, but it's just called Quench Juice Bar. But that was 2 years ago, right? And we wanted to learn about our current student body. So over the weekend, as I was watching Cheer, as I was researching, for this episode, I made a call out to Instagram to see what issues students have had.
If you are a USC student that has had issues with housing in the past, let us know. We'd love any pictures that you have to prove that what you're talking about is legit. So we can get more information on this topic as we research. Thanks.
Needless to say, we got some responses. Everything from a collapsed cement ceiling to termites, ant infestations, fleas, holes in the roof, and broken doors. I mean, look, at this point, off-campus housing sounds like Post Malone's liver. It's still holding up, but you gotta wonder how at this point. And just like Post Malone's liver, a lot of these issues are because of the owner. Many of the problems brought up to us related to larger complaints students have had with the management companies and landlords that own these houses. Take Mosaic, which manages over 50 properties around the SC area. The company came under fire last year as students reported numerous break-ins and poor communication. Or maybe take this student's recent experience where a different management company bought her house and her rent ended up being $300 more than she expected. Or even consider pretty much everything you've heard about the Lorenzo. Look, no, look, we're not going too deep into that right now because I don't want the mafia that owns it to come after me. Don Lorenzo, if you're watching this, I'll get you the money by Tuesday, I promise. But earlier this year, one of the Lorenzo's managers sent an email to students saying that one of their residents had coronavirus and was taken to the hospital, which wasn't true. Now, obviously, this freaked everyone out because coronavirus is almost as terrifying as Mike Bloomberg's smile. We tried containing it. It just showed up everywhere somehow. We tried. Now look, if you're a college student, it's inevitable that your housing situation won't be perfect. I mean, look, case in point.
There's this door, which there's no lock that works on it and goes directly towards the outside.
We tried to open the window once and kind of figured this out. Yep.
Okay, should you really be expecting windows at this point in your life? Look, you ate day-old mac and cheese with a ladle for breakfast this morning. Learn how to use a fork, and then we'll talk windows, Gen Z. Okay? So privileged. So the issues with many of these homes shouldn't really shock you. You're in college after all. That doesn't mean it's okay. But just like the death of a SoundCloud rapper, you shouldn't really be surprised. Okay, that one's tough, but look, Young Kill Your Bits 69 was not the top of the food chain, okay? But look, at USC, it might be particularly bad to see houses like this given how expensive it is to live here. It's been reported before that universities often underestimate the cost of off-campus housing. And we have to remember that Los Angeles is already the 5th most expensive housing market in the US. One rental website put University Park, which surrounds USC, as the 2nd most expensive neighborhood in Los Angeles to rent an apartment. Folks, at this point, USC housing is so expensive that it could cost students an arm, a leg, and a year's worth of kombucha. How are we going to survive under those conditions? Now, this is probably because landlords know of the pressures that students face to live near USC. University Park and other close neighborhoods are conveniently located near campus and downtown. Not to mention, you can thrift a Spud Nuts, a valuable asset to those of you who don't know. Landlords know they have a captive market, so they can charge more than the property itself might be worth. So not only are you living in houses that might come with classic college issues like a broken door or a detachable window, but you're also living in houses that are relatively expensive. And look, we're not saying this just to bash USC housing. Only the Lorenzo. I'm sorry, Your Padre, I'm sorry. But we're explaining all of this because the videos that you see online may not tell you the full story of what living as a student is really like. In fact, we couldn't find any videos that really gave us a clear picture of that, so we decided to give it a shot ourselves.
What's up, guys? My name's Rita and this is my apartment. Let's check it out. Well, first we got ample counter space. And of course, who needs a stove? Then you got these bad boys. If you want to boil water, she'll get it done in just 3 to 4 short hours. And no matter your baking needs, we got it. I mean, who likes baking anyway, you know? Dishwashers are such a hassle. I've got my own sink. And the piece de resistance. Very own fountain! And the toilet paper rack is fully detachable. One of my favorite things about this place is that it's just so rustic and filled with history and dust. I've had this for a week. Thanks for stopping by. And like my landlord says, go yourself.
So to all you prospective freshmen out there, you're welcome. Hopefully this gives you a little bit of a perspective on what student living is really like. All right, and another piece of advice. You didn't hear it from me, but if you see anything behind the counter at the Lorenzo, never mind.